Hey, what's up guys? It's Jakeem the Nerdy Python, and today we gotta talk about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2. First off, I know I'm already a week late and that Episode 3 just aired on Sunday, but in the middle of Endgame weekend and me, shooting my spoiler-free and, spoiler review for that kind of held a little bit of precedence over Game of Thrones, for me anyway. So, it was kind of hard with the timing and, with like my work schedule and everything, was kind of hard to be able to cover this. So, here I am a week later, and as I say, always better late than never. So at the start of this episode, we're back in Winterfell, and both Jaime and Tyrion are being held under trial with Jon, Daenerys, and Sansa at the table, and they both seem to be, pretty much convicted of showing loyalty to Cersei. So it ultimately ends with Brienne vouching for Jaime, given that, he pretty much spared her from the band of marauders in that earlier season, and I thought that was very loyal of her and really was a reflection of, the history and bond that they shared. So we then catch up with Arya, who seeks counsel from Gendry, and this is the second time they ran into each other since that very flirtatious encounter in Episode 1, and we all kind of know what's going down already, so, I'm just kind of waiting to watch it all unfold. He tries talking her out of joining the war and tells her that, she faces death, and her reply was, I know death, before chucking about 5 or 6 blades at the same fixed point at the same wall, and it was just so badass. And at that point, we already know what's going on in his mind. He's just sort of looking like really fucking astonished and amazing, just like damn man, that was fucking amazing, she's amazing, I gotta have her. Sansa and Daenerys end up meeting in this room to discuss this hidden quarrel they have going on about Jon Snow pledging to her, and Sansa says that Jon's pretty much being manipulated by his love for Daenerys, and Daenerys replies by saying it's actually the other way around, and that she's the one that's going out of her way and far from home to be with Jon. And at that point I was just like, wow, damn, that was some real deep shit there, and I really loved the emotional gravity of it, and it's just great writing on the part of the screenwriters. Jaime tracks down Brandon in the forest, and they exchange words where he pretty much apologizes to Brandon for the window incident that happened years ago, and Brandon's just like, what the fuck ever, you just trying to save your own neck, and he pretty much says that the only reason why he vouched for Jaime back in the hearing is so he can keep him alive long enough to help him during the war. And I thought that was also very intelligent and smart writing, because it raises a lot of questions to the fans as to whether or not Brandon and Jaime are going to end up teaming up and becoming friends, or are they going to stay enemies at the end of all this, and and we're going to get like some kind of showdown between them. And I think that's one more thing that's going to keep me watching this season. The White Walker army is approaching, and everybody in Winterfell is sort of bracing themselves in preparation while still enjoying their final hours before the showdown. Jaime, Tyrion, Brienne, and all the other main allies, meet up for a drink and tell stories, and this part right here is very heartfelt, as they all sort of just reflect on where they were in the past with the Starks and how they get to where they are now, and being their main allies. And it ends with Brienne being knighted by Jaime, and it's just paying more homage to the relationship and bond that they trust as really good friends. Arya and Gendry also take part in all the fun when he brings her a new weapon, and she pretty much thanks him by asking him about his history with women, and we already know where it's headed. She basically says she wants the deed before dying and strips him down before jumping on him. And I was just real surprised at how it happened. She was the bold one in that case, and it was just, I guess I shouldn't be all that surprised given that Arya Stark is like a very strong feminist type character, but I was still shocked nonetheless. And she pretty much says to him that I'm not the red lady, take your own damn pants off, and that just made it that much more intense. And I gotta say guys, I wish I was Gendry at that moment. Towards the end of the episode, Jon and Daenerys, they meet up in the hall where they stare at Lyanna Stark's statue and, share a little bit of her history. Daenerys believes all of the stories that her brother Rhaegar raped Lyanna, but Jon ultimately reveals that, they were sort of married in secret, and that he's actually the product of that union, raised by Lyanna's brother Ned Stark. And, at that point, she was just really taken aback and having realized that, holy shit, I've been making out with my nephew the whole time, and it's just like completely mind-blowing. So that's it for all the major plot spoilers, involving the main cast, but we also get the return of, a few other characters like Gilly and Little Sam, and also Jorah, and, I forgot the other guy's name, the red-headed wildling guy, they're in this episode as well. Oh, and just a side note, what I forgot to mention about episode 1 was the fact that Samwell finally got his chance to meet up with Daenerys, where it was pretty much put out there that his family, they refused to bow under her rule, and she pretty much just executed them because of it. And I thought that was very fucking insane, and I'm very interested to find out where they're gonna take that plot hole, because that's like a very interesting triangle with with Jon Snow, Daenerys, and Samwell, but you know, not a love triangle, but just a triangle of general interest, because, you know, Samuel is Jon Snow's best friend, but Daenerys and Jon Snow have a little thing going on. So I'm really interested to see what they do with that. Alright guys, so that's it for my Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 2 reaction. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys want me to continue doing this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you tap that bell for notifications. There's also links to my social media posted down in the description below. And as always, Nerdy Python is out of here.